Okay, so today I'm actually going to be combining the $300 and $400 build into one video because a lot of the parts we're going to be using are going to be similar in both builds. So both of these builds, I want to provide a solid gaming experience. So the $300 build, I want it to at least match last gen console experience. So I want it to be able to play every single game on the market and at playable frame rates. Playable means 30. I don't care if it's competitive experience, but I want it to be playable. So I want every game to run at least 30 FPS, even if we have to go down to low settings, but every game should run. That's the bare minimum requirement if for the $300 build. The game doesn't have to be at gorgeous ray tracing settings, obviously, but just needs to be able to run proper. So yeah, that is my status quo for the $300 build, and I feel like if you are getting a $300 build, that should be, especially if it's a $300 gaming PC oriented build, that should be what you are looking for. Now, for the $400 build, I want most games to be playable at 1440p, though that obviously might be a little bit overreaching, so at least 1080p. I want every game to be playable at 1080p on the $400 system. I want every game to at least be somewhat playable in some form, so at least 720p on the $300 system. Those are my two requirements going into this. So, with that said, for the $300 build, we're going for the GTX 750 Ti. So, this is basically the bare minimum GPU you can have in 2021 that will be able to play games. So, it's $96. It should be cheaper. I wanted to use this in the $200 build, but GPU price is insane, I know. So, we had to go for it in this build. So yeah, we're already at 96. I'm gonna go for the exact same RAM as I used in the $200 build, because I think that was a very good deal on them. It was a bit slow, but GTX 750 Ti is also kind of old too, so that should be fine. So 2x4 gig Corsair RAM, exact same RAM as the last build. Maybe we might upgrade for the $400 build, though. I think it might be fine in both builds. So yeah, exact same RAM. So yeah, we're at 120. Now we're going to go for the, I don't know why. Oh yeah, now we're gonna go for the CPU. So AMD Ryzen 1200, and yeah, okay. By now, lowest to highest. Okay, anyway, okay, I don't know why it's not letting me sort lowest highest, but yeah, $80. Okay. Yeah, 80 still, okay. All of these 80, so yeah, we'll just have to go for this one. Yeah, we're probably gonna use the same CPU in both builds because the 1200, like I said, has a bit of wiggle room. So yeah, that's 80, and now we need the motherboard for the CPU. So AMD Ryzen 1200 motherboard. Ryzen first gen motherboard. We're just gonna get the cheapest one. Yeah, $80. Okay. B4 550M. Okay, nothing crazy, but you know, bare minimum. Yeah, we're at 283. Now we need to get SSD. So still gonna go for the exact same SSD as the $200 build because I'm gonna assume that you're gonna store your games on external hard drive. So 120 gigs should be enough for the system to be operational. And yeah, I'm also gonna go for the same power supply as the $300 build. So Thermaltake power supply. And yeah, so $19. Okay. Should work. Okay. So with all of that, we're at 325. Now, this is why I wanted to combine the $300 and $400 build into one video, just because. So this is the $300 build. A lot of the parts are going to be similar to the $400 build. The one thing we're going to be changing, the one major thing at least, is going to be the GPU. So instead of the 750 Ti, because we want that playable 1080p experience all the time, and maybe even possibly 1440p, so we're going to go for GTX 1060. Now, I know that's probably, it's not going to be what I want to see, just because of how overpriced everything is right now, but we'll still go for it. Yeah. Yeah, we're looking at around 135 for a GTX 1060. Just want to make sure this isn't the mining. Oh no, this is Zotac. Okay, see, this is why you have to be careful with 1060s. If it says Zotac on it, it's the mining GPU. You do not want to get the mining GPU. You want to get the actual GTX 1060. Because if you get the mining version of the card, then it's not going to be. It's only going to be good for mining. It's not going to be good for non-mining oriented tasks. So yeah, so you have to be careful with GTX 1060s. But actually, considering the GTX 1060 price has actually kind of impressed me, so I think we might be able to move up to the 1070. I'm just going to check 1070 prices. Probably. Actually, no. Yeah, we can't step up to the 1070. Sorry, I don't know why I thought we could. That was definitely a pretty big jump to make. Yeah, all of these are mining. That's the problem. Make sure I don't get the mining version of the card. Yeah, this is okay. This is the actual GPU, not mining oriented. Okay. Yeah, that's why you have to be careful with GTX 1060s. You do not want the mining version. So everything else is probably gonna stay the same though for the $400 build. I just wanted to change out that GPU for a 1060. The Ryzen 3 1200 should still be more than capable for that GPU. Yeah, okay, I'll change the power supply just because of the fact that 400 watts might be a little bit too small, especially because this looks to be an older power supply. So I'm gonna upgrade the power supply a little bit. Yeah, see, this is why you have to be careful. It's actually 600 watts is the max, so you want to make sure it's 600 watts of continuous usage. All of these, I want a newer power supply for the $400 build. Yeah, okay. 500 watts, especially because it's brand new. I wanted to make sure I got a brand new power supply also, because this is a lot more expensive of a build. It's 42 bucks. Okay. So I know the shipping seems concerning. But yeah, it's only a $440 build without shipping. So yeah, definitely a little bit more expensive than 440. But you are getting that 1060, and that is a very nice GPU. And even the $300 build, you're getting a 750 Ti. Both are very capable GPUs and been more than fine for gaming. And you have to be careful with those GTX 1060s though. Make sure you don't get a mining GPU. Make sure it is the gaming gigabyte version of the card. If you get the Zotac mining version of the card, you're not going to be utilizing that full GTX 1060 performance. So just be very careful when you're getting GTX 1060s, especially on eBay. Yeah, and Also, preferably, yeah, just make sure it works well with the system, and yeah. In fact, I actually might not even consider getting this one just because of the fact that it has no returns and seller doesn't have any reviews, but it was the cheapest one, so that's why I just put it. Though probably if I was actually buying it, I might not have chosen that one, and I would have chosen. Just make sure you read the reviews is basically what I'm saying. With that. Um, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot to take out the original power supply. Yeah, that was one thing why the build was so expensive. Yeah. So, yeah, 422. So, yeah, it's fitting within that $400 price. And it's just like, oh, yeah, why is it so expensive? So, yeah, $400 build, GTX 1060. $600 build, 750 Ti. Both give you playable experience. GTX 1060 pretty much guarantees 1080p in every game and can even do 1440p in some games, the lighter games. 750 Ti guarantees playable performance in every game. You know, some you might actually have to go below 1080p nowadays just because of how demanding games are, but still playable performance. Then that's the one thing I want to say for it. So yeah. And I basically say it's around what you'd expect in terms of console counterpart comparing. The GTX 1050 Ti is around base console level performance, and the GTX 1060 is around PS4 Pro / Xbox One X performance. And it translates nicely because PS4 Pro costed like what 400. Now you can get it for like 250, but at launch it costed like 400. So it makes sense next to the GTX 1060. Though the GTX 1060 should definitely be cheaper, though because of GPU prices increasing, that's why it's so expensive. So just out of curiosity, I looked up Xbox One the other day, so let me look up what PS4 Pros go for nowadays. I know, and if we go lowest, oh dang, that's 600, but then that's a limited edition. Um, well, okay, something about this one just seems sketchy because it's a lot cheaper than the other ones. So actually, I think, but around the cost that PS4 Pros are going for is around 300. So yeah, you're paying $100 extra for PC basically right now, but you get that and functionality of PC. So yeah, and you need a PC anyway. So yeah, it fits in nicely. I think I'd say into the build. Um, again, I wish GTX 1060 was before all this, probably what I'd recommend in $300 build, 750 Ti, and maybe try to squeeze that into a $200 build. But because of increased prices and the like, this is the situation we're at right now. But I would recommend these builds just because I don't think the price situation is gonna get better for a couple months, and I'd say this is worth it for the price. It's definitely not the best deal you can get. If these were better times, you obviously could get better deals, but right now these are the best deals you can get on these parts. So yeah, I'll leave it with that.